Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy addressed the UN Security Council today for the first time since the Russian invasion of his country over a month ago.
Zelenskyy said the atrocities in Bucha are just the latest examples of Russian crimes against civilians. CBS's Skyler Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
Russia wants to turn Ukraine into silent slaves.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy delivered a powerful address to the UN Security Council, accusing Russia of war crimes in Ukraine.
They killed entire families, adults and children, and they tried to burn the bodies.
Satellite images show bodies lying in the streets of Bucha long before Russian forces left the town.
The world has yet to see what they have done in other occupied cities and regions of our country.
The horrifying death toll there has triggered international outrage.
These crimes betray the trust of every Russian mother who proudly waves goodbye to her son as he heads off to join the military.
The U.S. says it's joining Ukraine in seeking Russia's suspension from the UN's Human Rights Council.
Given the growing mountain of evidence, Russia should not have a position of authority in a body whose very purpose is to promote respect for human rights.
U.S. leaders say they're also coordinating with allies to implement another round of economic sanctions this week in hopes of further isolating Moscow.
We stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine and all other people affected by the war of Russian aggression. We stand in support of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
The new sanctions, expected to be announced Wednesday, will reportedly include a ban on all new investment in Russia and sanctions on Russian government officials and their family members. NATO and G7 leaders are set to meet Wednesday and Thursday to discuss the delivery of advanced weapons to Ukraine. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
For more, let's bring in Olivia Gazis. Olivia is CBS News' intelligence and national security reporter. Hi there, Olivia. So Ukrainian President Zelenskyy's UN speech detailed what he saw in Bucha this morning. What else did he address?
Well, Elaine, perhaps most troublingly, what we heard from President Zelenskyy and other Western leaders, including the head of NATO today, is that there could be many more, countless other Buchas, that the apparent atrocities that Russian forces are committing against civilians in Ukraine could be happening in many other cities. We just haven't had access to those cities or seen pictures from them yet. And the president of Ukraine took the opportunity to kind of upgrade the UN as an institution, calling for a fundamental rethinking of how it operates and questioning openly, where is the security that the Security Council is supposed to guarantee? He said Russia's veto on that council amounts to, in his words, a right to kill. And the reason that its aggression was continuing was because it had gone unpunished for prior crimes that it had committed elsewhere. He called for a tribunal in the style of Nuremberg to hold Russian military commanders to account. And he said very bluntly to the UN body that unless it removes Russia from the council as an aggressor, as a starter of war, then it might as well just admit that it is a nice place to have discussions and dissolve itself. Some very strong words from Zelenskyy today.
Olivia, what's your latest reporting on additional sanctions?
Sure. So this came from our White House team, which today confirmed that the White House is going to move forward with additional sanctions coordinated with EU and G7 nations tomorrow. That new package is expected to include a ban on all new investment in Russia, to target financial institutions in Russia, and to target new Russian government officials and their family members. The White House would not confirm today whether that would include the daughters of Russian President Vladimir Putin, which is a detail that we have heard. Again, that's unconfirmed. But the administration is calling this, a one measure of accountability that it is using to punish Russia for these apparent war crimes it's committed in Bucha and elsewhere, saying that collectively the measures it's taken with other Western nations are going to erase 15 years of economic gains in Russia, to worsen its inflation and unemployment levels. But it does fall short of what the Ukrainians have called for weeks, which is what they refer to as the mother of all sanctions, a wholesale ban on the imports of Russian oil, gas, and coal. The Europeans, given their exposure, are just reluctant to take that step.
Yeah, to follow up on that, Olivia, we know that energy supplies really are the leverage that Russia holds over many nations. Are there certain countries in Europe that are potentially open to cutting back their dependency on Russian energy? And are there other countries that realistically, looking at their situation, just cannot do that right now?
Sure, it's a great question, Elaine. I mean, as an example, the United Kingdom has already announced that it is going to be phasing out all Russian oil imports and reducing its reliance on Russian gas. But their reliance, as compared to that of continental Europe, is really just a fraction. It's in the single digits. Europe has tried in recent years to diversify its sources of energy sources overall, but it's still very vulnerable to Russia. It gets 40% of its natural gas and close to 30% of its oil from Russia. Germany and Italy are particularly reliant on its natural gas, and countries like the Netherlands, Finland, and Poland are particularly reliant on its oil. So it's going to be varying degrees of pain for the governments and their citizens. But Lithuania, for example, this week just announced that it would immediately ban all Russian gas, which until 2015, it was 100% reliant on. It's just saying, along with other Baltic states, that this is a measure that no matter how costly it is, has to be taken given the stakes. Even so, just as one final point, even as the Europeans are seeking to diversify their imports, the Russians are seeking to diversify their exports. So they have built a pipeline to China. They've started conversations with other Asian nations in order to cultivate new buyers for their products. They've started to build capacity for the export of liquefied natural gas. So it really is a question of how quickly these measures and their countermeasures fall into place that are going to determine how much pain and for how long Russia feels.
Those geopolitical shifts are underway. Olivia Gazis. Olivia, thank you.
Thank you.